it. And it gives me pleasure to be able to start another Saturday morning masterclass training. As man, yesterday was an exciting, explosive day for those that have decided to literally take their business to the next level. When I say to the next level, yesterday was one of those record-breaking days that I'm just like, what is going on? But many people have really gotten it. They're starting to believe in what we have here. And I can tell you, when you start to believe in what you have, you are going to see a major difference in your life, not just your business, in your life, in your bank account. How many of y'all believe what you have? You can best believe it's going to take your business and your life to another level. Many of you have decided that it is time to take control over my life. Many of you have decided that, you know what, it's time to make some changes. Some of you have decided that you are going to be able to have a spectacular 2015. But once you do believe those things and you start to take action on those things, you can best believe those things will make a difference. So, with that being said, wow, first I want to start off by simply acknowledgement of everybody that's on the training call. If you have not received, if you have not received any emails from me, please check your spam. Please check your spam in your email that you used for your vacations when you signed up in your business. How many of you did not receive any email from me? If you have not received an email from me that just simply says, welcome to the Creators of Wealth, then can you guys hear me? Can everybody hear me? Okay. All right. So that means everybody got an email. Wow. Good job. Wow. 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 Okay. Now, if you are not already on the Creators of Wealth on Facebook, if you are not on the Creators of Wealth on Facebook, make sure you join the Creators of Wealth. How many of you were welcomed by the family in Facebook? How many of you were welcomed? And you will get all of your, right? Okay, good. That's major, okay? We have a number of individuals who have hit rank, whether it was an executive. If you have actually hit executive or above, if you have hit executive, okay, now I'm hearing people say they can't hear. Okay. All right, mic check, mic check, mic check, 1, 2. All right, it might be their internet. Okay. All right, well, most people can hear me, so I got to keep on moving. All right, so if you have hit executive or above this month, any rank, I want you to just type 1. Type a 1 in the classroom. If you have hit any rank this month, I want you to type a 1 in the classroom. So let's start by giving it up for all of those that have hit an executive or above. Congratulations to each and every one of you. Sabrina Black. Sabrina Black hit executive in 1 day, ladies and gentlemen. Mickey has just become an executive. Yvonne Keller is here. National Executive Mike Saunders, Candace Seegers, Eva have actually, okay. And we definitely want to appreciate all of you who have actually hit right now. Most of you should know that we are running a promotion in the organization. And I'm going to tell you, I don't know if I'm going to be able to continue this one, but many of you have done the executive initiative bonus. Many of you have hit the executive initiative bonus. If you have been one of those people, I want you to type 2 in the room. If you hit your executive initiative bonus, that means you signed up 3 people this month, okay? And that means you have hit that executive initiative bonus. Sabrina Black, yep, that means, what does that mean? First of all you needed to do is get 3 in the month of January signed up, and you would have gotten a $50 bonus between your national and your diamond. We come together to make sure that you get a initiative bonus, and all you had to do was do 3 in the month of January. So again, we want to give it up for, and I'm looking at the 2s, Gwen, Sabrina Black again, National Executive, Mike Saunders, Preston, Scott, Mickey again, Jason, yep, oh, he said, oops. Well, I'll give it to you. Okay. All right. Well, again, ladies and gentlemen, we want to thank those who have actually hit the initiative bonus, and all you have to do is hit 3. As we go into February, that initiative bonus continues. That initiative bonus continues. So we have some that done it in December. We also have people who have done it in January. So we definitely want to acknowledge those folks for hitting those positions. Congratulations. And you can best believe that means if you are hitting bank rank, that means you're hitting the bank, right? If you're hitting rank, that means you're going to the bank. And when we leave the bank, anybody know where we're going from the bank? Where do we go from the bank? All right, somebody going to say it in a minute. From the bank to the beach. From the bank to the beach. And that's what this opportunity is all about, living a tremendous life. So we definitely want to acknowledge all of those folks, and you will see that. Also, we have started a class last month, ladies and gentlemen, which is now another division of the Creators of Wealth Development Group. Creators of Wealth Development Group, which we talk a lot about importance of personal development. How many of you understand and know how important personal development is? It is so critical to building this particular business, and it is even more critical to building a successful life. Would you agree with that? All right. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, we definitely will have every Monday through Friday. It's so important to me that I make sure that this class takes place at 9 a.m. every morning, 9 a.m. Monday through Friday, which we will be reading a book and we study together so that we can grow together. Everybody with that? We study together so that we will grow together. And then what do we do from that? We go to the bank, to the beach. And I guarantee you, if you put these things in place on purpose, it will truly make a difference in your business. The last book, we are just coming up to the conclusion of that book. It is called The Residual Millionaire. The Residual Millionaire. As you can see, we have typed the link in the box. That way you can go ahead on into the group page and join that particular group if you have not already. Personal development, we're reading the book. What takes place is you read the book you read the chapter the night before, and then that next morning we study the chapter all together where we get your view of what you received. And how many of y'all understand we all learn on different levels? We all learn on different levels. So that means we will all get something different from the book, which means something that is going to be said you will connect to from somebody, right? Something that you may not have related to, you will get, basically, because if I'm not mistaken, don't we learn the best in a group format? Don't we learn the best in when we can learn from one another? Yes or yes? This is so critical. Remember when you were in class, you were learning from each other. Opposed to that, when you're committed to these types of things, it will make a major difference in your life. Everybody says, oh, I want to make money, but let me tell you something. If you don't develop yourself, you won't make money. That's so important, because development is what builds your character. It builds your integrity. It builds your confidence. It builds your knowledge base. It builds your vocabulary. It builds your bank account and your understanding. And let me share something with you. The more you understand your business, the more income your business will produce. Did you just hear what I'm just saying? I will stay on that subject forever, because when people come and say, Kemp, I can't get anybody in my business. Kemp, I'm having a problem. Kemp, I'm struggling here. I know exactly what the problem is. All right? So I encourage you. I can't tell you what to do, but I can encourage you what to do. If you're ready to take your business to that next level, I encourage you to come to that class at 9 o'clock. And if you're not able to get to the class because you're at work, that is understandable. We're even recording the class so that you can listen to it back in playback. All right? Everybody got that? Also, we have a training site called the creatorsofwealth.com. Everybody type that. Creators of Wealth. creatorsofwealth.com, where these trainings that we're doing on Saturday, they are also recorded so that you will be able to listen to them back in playback. That is our training website that you can go to and listen to it in playback. Now, one other thing here is, and then we'll go to our main attraction, is every single night, ladies and gentlemen, watch this, we do a webinar. Okay, we do a webinar. www.theteamwebinar.com, so we can help you to create and build your business. All right, every night, 9 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. Where now, how many of you would love for your top producers to share the information? How many of you would love for your top producers to share the information with your prospects, members, friends, family, and associates, right? All of us should. So guess what? That tool is there every single night where you will have one of your top producers that are doing very well in the business to present the business for you to help you grow the business. And you'll learn where it takes a team to bring the dream forward. If you are one of those I type of people, guess what? Personal development is definitely necessary, and it must become a we type of people, okay? So with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, I have the opportunity and pleasure to actually share with you today. I'm going to tell you this. You better get a notebook. You better to get a notebook. And you better have a pen in hand to take some notes. Because this gentleman that I have the honor to work with over the last 6-7 years, ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman has definitely proven himself in many ways. When we start talking about helping people, when we start talking about caring for people, when we start talking about the man that will go in the trenches for you, someone who will show up at your house and help you to build your business, someone who will answer his phone any time of the night, somebody that will literally be at all of your events, doing your events. You'll see him presenting at your events. You can best believe he's not only a person that's about himself, but more about serving the people from a heart. And when I tell you he builds his business from his heart and not his pocket, you're going to see a gentleman that works with when I tell you sincerity, when I tell you these words, I could just go on with the words and words and words. And I have had an opportunity to build a great relationship with him. And today, I mean, it has been very difficult to get him on this line to do some training. Because let me tell you, he's a father, he's an employer, he works every day, he serves at his church, he is doing all of these things. He's still doing full time. He has served our military forces. He works for the government. All of this stuff. And I tell you, he still makes it possible for it to happen to where he is one of the top producers in Paycations, Mr. Preston Scott, all the way from the DMV, ladies and gentlemen. Are you there, sir?
Man, I'm sitting around wondering, like, who in the world is he talking about? I'm here, Mr. Snatcher. How are you this morning, sir?
Man, I am doing fantastic. I am just so privileged to have the opportunity to do this training call with you today, sir. And I know that this will be one of those historical calls that we will listen to about 5 to 10 years from now and say, do you remember this? And all of you that are actually listening in, you are a part of history that is being made. Come on, what I just say? A part of history that's being made. And how critical is that? You're going to see. I don't know how many of you have been a part of anything for a very long period of time, but it's when you look back over your life or you look back over your business at what you went through or what we go through to be where we are today. That just, you know how you look at pictures from back in the day, Preston, like you look at the babies of what they used to look like when they first came here, and then you watch them today, like I know you're a father, proud father of what, 3, I believe?
Yeah, 3. I feel like 33, but yeah, 3.
3, and now you look at these kids, because I remember, let me see, how old is your oldest?
My oldest is 9, middle is 7, and baby boy is 3.
Okay. Now, I can remember most of those years when the baby came, and we're looking at it today. When you look at those kids today, it's an amazing of what they went through, where they are today, and what the future holds for them. So we got a historical event here, so let's just jump right into the call. And I'm just going to interview you today, sir. I got the opportunity to put Preston on the hot seat. And if you guys have any questions that you would like me to ask Preston, you could just go ahead and type them into the forum, and I'll make sure I try to get those questions answered. But let's talk about this industry. Let's talk about when you first got started in network marketing and your journey. Just take us through a quick boom, Preston Scott journey through the network marketing industry from then up into today.
Absolutely, Mr. Satchel. Before I get started, if I may, I just want to, first of all, honor you for having this call, this training call, consistently and inviting me on to serve. I remember when I first got involved in the Paycation deal about 7 years ago, my first phone call was from a gentleman in Pennsylvania with a funny sounding voice. I'm like, who in the world is this guy calling me? And I just got started in Paycation back in the day, and it was a message saying that, hey, my name is Kemp Satchel from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. If you got any questions, here's my phone number, man. And I'll never forget that moment. And that's probably why I do it today when individuals get started with our organization. I give them a call because that meant a lot to me. And that night that we spoke, man, you spoke life into my business as far as the industry is concerned, because you said to me, your income will never exceed your personal development. And to that point, I had never had any major success. And I was actually on the verge of quitting mentally, and you helped me a lot with that, sir. So I want to honor you as far as that's concerned. And secondly, last but not least, before I go into my story, you mentioned me working, you mentioned me helping the organization, you mentioned me being a father, but I know I charge it to your head, not to your heart. You didn't mention me being a husband, so I want to honor my wonderful wife on today, because had it not been for her, man, this success would not take place, because she allows it to happen. She holds the fort down, and she's a machine herself. And a lot of you are going to see that coming up here shortly, as we're getting a lot of things in order to put her out in the forefront as well. But I definitely want to honor my queen for allowing me to be a king. Now, as you said, sir, my journey started somewhere around about 13 years ago in the industry of home-based business. A gentleman who's my cousin today, who was a friend back then, introduced me to a company called Primerica Financial Services. And he kind of started out putting me on a three-way call. I mean, you know, the system has been the system for years. Put me on a three-way call, spoke to his cousin, who is now, we're all kind of, you know, related now, but back in the day, we're all kind of friends. And we got on the line, and he talked about, you know, opportunity and wealth. And I'm like, okay, I hear you, but not really understanding. I went out, saw an opportunity, got involved, didn't know what the heck I was doing. You know, they told me I need to go to these people's houses and convince them to purchase insurance. And, you know, you go on a mock trip with someone while they're doing it, or a training trip, if you will. You got dogs running around people's houses, you know, having a certain odor and children. And you meet with the wife, and the husband now comes downstairs and says, get out of my house. We don't want any insurance. It was, to me, I'm like, good Lord, what have I got myself into? But I understood that I wanted more. I just didn't know how to get it. So, rolled around in that for a little while, man, and ended up quitting because I didn't understand the stick-to-it. I didn't understand, you know, stick and stay to get your pay. Today, the gentleman that was on the other end of that three-way call is doing over $100,000 here because he stayed in place. Now, I quit that company, and fast forward about a year and a half maybe, I'm in church, and I meet this guy who I had some experiences with outside of church, you know, in the arena of go-go music. You know, for some of you who are familiar with the D.C. area music, there's a gentleman by the name of Bruce Bailey, and I remember seeing him give his life to Christ in church, and I walked up to him. I'm like, hey man, Bruce, man, it's great to see you. I'm glad you're making some moves here, man, as far as your spiritual walk is concerned. And then, you know, we began to develop a closer relationship. And then this joker invited me over to his house one day and said, hey, man, come out and hang with me. We were hanging out, and somehow he tricked me to go into a presentation. I'm at this presentation, these guys with all these suits on, man. I'm just coming off the street. You know, I'm like, I'm not really, you know, I don't know what's going on. And it was a prepaid legal presentation. And I'm like, Bruce, what you done got me into? So, you know, I'm trusting this guy. I get involved. 30 days later, I get what I considered back then a bill of about maybe $20-some-odd, or 17, whatever it was. But back then, you know, 11, 12 years ago, I'm like, man, I'm out of this thing. Bruce, I'm good. He's like, man, you want the service? Now I'm with the service. I'm done. I don't have anything to do with this pyramid stuff, you know. And it's amazing how some leaders today look down upon people who don't understand, but most of us were there. I was there. I didn't have a clue of what was going on. I didn't know what this whole business thing was, this home-based business, getting somebody to try to do something or getting somebody to try to buy something. I wasn't feeling it, and I just left. Over the course of about 3 to 5 years from that point, I tried some other things. I kept seeing people be successful, and I'm like, there's something going on here. I haven't figured it out. So I tried companies. Then I got involved in a financial company. So, of course, I'm thinking I'm going to go back to Bruce. Hey, Bruce, I'm involved in this financial services company, man. You got to take a look at it. Bruce Bailey says to me, man, I'm done with network marketing, man. I'm getting me a job. I'm like, this dude, the one that got me involved, okay, no problem. So I'm, going through that motion, man, and it didn't work out. I'm trying to get people to buy a credit service to fix their credit. And if they had enough money to buy the service, they wouldn't have bad credit. But that's a whole other story. Left that alone, got a phone call from Mr. Bruce Bailey, maybe 6 months from then. Hey, man, I got something. I'm like, hold up a second. Dude, you just told me that you're not interested. You quit the industry. Now you're calling me about something. What you got? And he said the magic word, travel. I'm like, really? Travel? Home base? Okay. You got my attention. We got involved in a company, man, called YTB. Was involved in that company for about 9 months. And we thought we were doing great. Bruce got him a $1,000 bonus, and I was about 3 people away from my $1,000 bonus. We were kind of making some things happen, but it just, we just weren't, didn't feel the release. And then there's a gentleman that we were friends with named Greg Southern, and he had an aunt named Monique King. And for some reason, Monique King just happens to call Greg Southern. He said, hey, I'm with Bruce and Preston, and we're in a company called YTB. Her words were, I'm sorry to hear that. And those words changed the course of our network marketing career, because he's like, what do you got? She showed him Paycation at the time, which our name at the time was Traveris, showed him that. He showed it to Bruce. Bruce showed it to me. I saw that matrix, and it was history. We let YTB go so doggone fast. You follow me? We got plugged into Paycation, and, we're back to the day that you gave me a call. Man, I hadn't had any success, and here we are 7 years later, man. I'm one of the top leaders in the company, and one of the sharpest folks in the industry, thanks to the tutors I've had over the years, sir. So that's a short version of a long story of my network marketing career, Mr. Thatcher.
Wow, I think you told everybody's story in the room. I can you had just told. How many of y'all heard yourself in that story? Just hit me. Give me a quick one. You really hit home with most people that's in this room right now. You've hit home, and I'm glad you were transparent. I'm glad that you went back to what you said, because all of us we've heard this story. But what does it mean, ladies and gentlemen? We are on the right track. Am I right about it? We are on the right track. Now, fast forwarding, as you got into this company, and I know that you just mentioned as you were introduced to personal development. You probably named every company that somebody that had a part to do with, Crown America, Prepaid Legal, you name it, we probably have done it. But there is a word that has become very true and dear to your life, and it's called commitment. Commitment, all right? Let's talk about how important making a decision to be committed to your commitment. Now, we know people say, I'm committed, but then they fall off the commitment. Then that means they weren't committed. Let's just talk about that from your perspective.
And I've been there too, man, as far as the commitment is concerned. But what I realize is people, they say it a lot, and some people say it and don't really realize the depth of what's being said. The commitment can't be to the company. The commitment can't be to your team. The commitment has to be to your why. And we'll hear it all the time. People say my why should make me cry. Well, if your why makes you cry, I'm not knocking that. You follow me? Hey, if that's what moves you, allow it to move you. But my why makes me work. Because most of us are committed to someone else's vision as it relates to a job. So we get up every day for 8 to 10, for 40 to 50 hours a week to be a place where we don't want to be, with people who don't like us, who we don't like, doing something that we don't want to do in most cases, and in all cases, getting paid something we're not worth, but we're committed. Why? Because it makes us work. Going to work doesn't make you cry. Well, it kind of does to me, because I get sad sometimes when I walk in that building. But There's no emotional attachment to working. It's because you're doing it because you want to get paid. That's your why. Your why makes you work. You follow me? So I had to be committed to my why, which is my family. First and foremost, I want to be filthy, rotten, stinking, dirty, wealthy, because I have vision. I have things I need to do. I'm putting together a school for young males, a business school. I have a wife. I have 2 daughters, and Lord knows I got to make sure that when they're out there dating, okay, that there's not a young man that can do you better than daddy. You follow me? And I have a young king I'm raising up, so I have to have things in order. Yeah, when you think about it, sometimes you can get a little emotional about it and kind of, cry. But my why makes me work, and I'm committed to working. So that, Mr. Savage, is where my commitment lies.
Whoa, what did he just say right there, ladies and gentlemen? That's a book right there. My why makes me work. Come on, y'all better write that. And what is it? Let me see, Prestonism. You better put that one in your book, because I can promise you're going to see that one in the school. You're going to definitely see that one in school, okay? Wow, all this emotion. Let's talk about that. You just mentioned that. We talk about crying, we talking about sadness, and we realize that there's a lot of emotions. I remember when I got in this industry, and he said one of the main reasons why most people are failing tremendously in this business is because they're either too emotional or too sensitive. And the moment that something hits, I quit. The moment that something, I can't do this. Let's talk about that emotion and how we can get that balance, because you still need emotion to build your business. Start talking about that way a little bit, your perspective.
The emotion that's needed to build your business is compassion. People get compassion mixed with the emotion of that feeling that occurs when there's something that happens to you, like the feeling of failure. The feeling of failure, there's an emotional attachment there from we don't want to fail. So it's like, oh my goodness, someone tells you no, or people don't show up at your event, or whatever the case may be. You attach that emotion to that. I don't like the feeling that's associated with being told no. There's an emotion that we passionate because you want to be a helper of people. In this industry, you got to be able to take phone calls when sometimes you don't want to take phone calls. You got to be places where sometimes you don't want to be places. Sometimes you have to sacrifice your family time. Oh, boy, don't I know it? But that's that compassion. That's an emotion you have to have. But the emotions and feelings that are associated with the word no or what seemingly failing, those are the ones you have to understand and learn how to eliminate. Because failure, there are 3 things I tell folks in my organization. When you get started, first thing you want to do is eliminate emotions. Accept compassion. The next thing you want to do is make mistakes. You got to make mistakes because that's how we learn. Again, the Bible talks about training up a child in the way that he should go. And when he becomes old, he won't depart from it. And most in the church, they'll tell you that, and they'll base it off of teaching them the ways of the Lord, which is awesome, right? But we've also been trained up in a way with our country's educational system, and it's difficult to depart from that. All we know, our school system is designed to teach us to be employees and to be mentally incarcerated, right, to the point where now it's difficult to receive the lifestyle of an entrepreneur where failure is what we need in order to become successful. You have to learn these things. People don't want to jump out there emotionally, man, because as a child, every time you make a mistake, no. It's just very difficult to receive that word because it's always, from a baby, been put in our mind as a bad thing. So you got to learn and push through those no's and understand that people with the most no's, all right, are going to succeed in this industry. So that's how, and it's not going to be easy to make that transition, but when you understand where you're going, all right, Just like sometimes when you're going on a destination and you know it may take a long time to get there, but when you understand that destination, you'll push through it. So understand in your emotions, be compassionate, but don't allow the fear or the feeling of failure to keep you locked in to all those emotions that allow people to quit. Mr. Saffron.
Boy, we talking today. This is some good stuff right here. And I noticed you just kept saying these things are ingraded, these things are learned, and we like to call it learned behavior. Yes, learned behavior. So it's possible to be able to unlearn those behaviors, again, through the repetition of putting new information into our mental, right? And that takes us to personal development. Your perspective.
Personal development, man, is, again, back to the phone call that you and I had. At that moment, I had sponsored, in my entire network marketing career, 9 people. Give me a round of applause, right? 9 people in, good Lord, 5 years or whatever it was, and that was just in one company. Now, let me give you perspective. The chat that we had that night, you led me to a young lady named Danny Johnson. Never heard of her in my life. Was like, okay, no. Started to study her, and the thing that you led me on to, you were like, man, you can listen to her 4 o'clock in the morning or 4 o'clock in the afternoon. I'm like, okay, she has trainings and teachings. Listening to Danny Johnson kind of led me to Les Brown, led me to listening to folks like Jim Rohn, Zig Ziglar. And I opened up a world of personal development from the perspective of the industry of direct sales and multi-level marketing and network marketing. And I began to discover this is an industry. One of the biggest things that people go through, they join companies, they don't start businesses. They'll join a company, and that's why it's easy to unjoin, because, let me join you, okay? But no, you got to start a business in an industry. If you were to become a doctor, you would need to study medicine. If you would become a lawyer, you need to study law, right? But when we get involved in this industry, folks don't study anything. They just go out and try to get people to do something. You follow me? So that was crucial. And I really, to me, a lot of times we couple professional and personal development. That's physically, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, okay? Economically, you need to be developed as first and foremost. Whether that's, whatever your spiritual walk happens to be, hey, get yourself in that gym, eat right. That's your personal, because that's you. But then also there's a component of that I consider professional development, where you need to learn this doggone industry. You get the book Go for No, for example. The book Go for No explains to you that no is a part of yes. And we are hearing a no, and we're thinking, oh my goodness. 7 no's a day. And I'm excited about it, right? Because I understand the industry of multi-level marketing. There's an industry, there's a science behind it, just like any and every other industry in the world, right? No one gets into being a realtor without taking real estate courses. No one worth being as far as an industry is concerned without getting the proper training and education necessary to become successful. So, sir, the personal development is absolutely paramount.
Wow. All right, here we go. Well, as you heard me say, this gentleman has, as he said, he sponsored 9 people. Wow, big, right? But up to today's date, he has sponsored, in this one opportunity right here, within 1 year, he has sponsored 80 individuals personally into his empire, into his network, into his business, to the point that, ladies and gentlemen, when I say the master has mastered his craft, he has truly mastered his craft. What is the secret formula? What is your secret formula to literally recruiting 80 people? And I can promise you, ladies and gentlemen, in the Creator's Wealth, I see it all. So I know he has sponsored more people than anyone. And this is why we have him here, so I'm going to let him take the time out to share with you, and you better take some notes, but I guarantee you the notes ain't going to help the spirit. But back to you, sir. Go ahead.
Can you hear me, Mr. Sanderson? I was told I'm breaking up slightly. Am I good, sir?
You're good now. Yes, sir.
Okay. Well, you hear a lot of folks saying, there is no secret, and I have to agree there really is no secret. I mean, but everyone has, I guess, their version of the story, if you will, acronym. And this is the master class, and we're speaking in terms of the mindset of a master recruiter. I want to break the word master down into, or whatever the case probably may be, but it kind of works for me.
Hold on for one second. Yeah, you are breaking up. Are you on a regular phone? We got to get this right.
Let me try that. Hold on one second.
Okay.
How about now? Is that better?
Yeah, that's good. That's good.
Okay. I'm definitely trying to stand still here because I don't know what's going on with the frequencies and things of that nature. There's principalities and powers in the air that try to, prevent certain things from going forth. So let me try to hold my course here. All right. There's 6 letters in the word master, right? And I'm gonna break that down really quickly, just kind of how it speaks to me in terms of the way that I'm able to go out and bring people into the business and give them an opportunity. And the first one I want to bring to you guys, there's just no way to do it, but the M, it stands for money. Money. And you'll hear a lot of folks saying, in a lot of cases for political reasons, I want to help a lot of people. It's not about the money. But let me just submit to you guys, it is about the money. And if you have a servant's heart, you can say that and understand I'm not concerned about what folks think because I know who I am. I'm secure in who I am, knowing that I'm a caring man, that I'm a man that when I get this money, I know what to do with it. I am the right tool. You follow me? But it's about money. Even the Bible itself says money answers all things. Not some things, not a few things, all things. There's a thing that's called poverty. There's a thing that's called lack. There's a thing that's called miseducation. There's a thing that's called, doubt that money can answer. So I am motivated to go get money. And in order to make the money, I'm saying money because we've been conditioned to just kind of like, money's the root of all evil. And that's so anti-scripture. The love of it is the root of evil. You don't have to love money, but you can love what money can do, right? Because they say the love of money, people who say the love of money is the root of all evil, well, I think the lack of it is. Because most people who are committing crimes, in a lot of cases, don't even have it. And then the greedy are the ones who make money evil. So you got to understand, I am going after money because I understand that there's a purpose behind it. Here recently, I had some challenges with my plumbing. Okay? Plumbing challenges. I'm going to Home Depot because I'm motivated to get me a snake. Now, I understand what the what the goal in mind is, but when I leave my house, I'm going straight to get the snake, motivated to get that, because in order for me to take care of what I need to take care of, I need that tool. Money is a tool. So first and foremost, in the mindset of a master recruiter, you got to understand you need to go get you some money. The A stands for activity. You have to have consistent and constant activity going on
as a master recruiter. What kind of activity? Well, number one, you have to have a list that you're consistently communicating with. That activity, all right? You have to be a part of some sort of social that you now are part of where you can meet people. You have to go out of get away beyond that computer, go out and meet people, create relationships, because folks say, well, I'll talk to my cousin, my uncle, my mother, my father, my brother, my sister, my nephew, my niece, and no one's getting involved in the company. Well, guess what? Let me explain to you all today that outside of my wife, my brother-in-law, there's no one in my family in this business. Nobody. Not one. I mean, my wife is retired from corporate America as a result of vacation, and they still don't see the vision, right? So you got to understand, it's the activity that you need to do on a regular and consistent is building your net worth, because your net worth, W-O-R-T-H, is only as strong as your net work, W-O-R-K. And the activity of meeting people and positioning yourself to be around people is what's going to cause that to grow. The S stands for system. System, okay? Everything has a system, all right? In order for us to live, we have a solar system. In order for us to walk around here and be who we are, there's a system inside of us. God created a system, okay? We have a nervous system, the women, reproductive system. Everything's done with a system. And folks try to, I'll do it this way. The system isn't working. Okay, imagine a young lady, giving birth. Well, the way that every other woman gave birth isn't working. I'm going to try to pull the baby out of my ear. Really? Good luck with that. There's a system that works. It's not people that work. We can't reproduce a Kim Satchel. We can't reproduce a Bruce Bailey, a Ron Jones. You can't, a Roger Lillard. They can't be reproduced, but the system that's in place can be reproduced or repeated, if you will. And we all know the acronym. Save yourself stress, time, energy, money. System. You got to follow one. I often say when you McDonald's, which is the greatest example of duplication in the world, you go in McDonald's, you look straight ahead, you see the burgers. You look to your left, you see the fries. You look to your right, you see the milkshake. It is in every single McDonald's anywhere around the world. They're the epitome of a system. The T stands for training. This is what people don't want to do. If you think of a glacier, all right, a glacier, you will see a glacier, which only thing you can see is what's above the water. But what you don't see is the massive chunk of ice that's below that water line. That's the training, the coaching. That's what we just talked about, like the development. Getting yourself, you think about Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is great, but what was he doing when he wasn't on the court? That's what made him great. The training. And you all, I'm preaching to the choir, if you will, because you all are on this call, the master class training, but it's something that I do consistently. Okay? Sponsored 80 people, a little over a year. Guess who's still training? Hello? Me. Because I want 80 more. Follow me? And I'm not done until I get to the very top of this compensation plan. And I'm probably still not going to be done after that. Continue training. The E stands for everybody. Now, everybody. That's right. That's who you talk to. Everybody. I don't care who you are, what you do. I am talking to you about an opportunity. Because those who you think will, won't. Those who you think won't, will. I am consistently talking to somebody about my business opportunity. You just never know. Because you got to understand this. People lean towards the failures versus the success stories. There are 1,000 more failures, but there are true successes in this industry. 1,000 more failures, people lean towards those. So I don't want to bother anybody because they may be one of those casualties. They may fail. Well, but what are talking to the next Kim Satchel. I talk to everybody because you're putting a person in position to change their lives. You got to get you out of the way. Get yourself out of the way. All right? Because now the thing is, when there's a monetary attachment to that person's answer, whether it's yes or no, that's when people fail to talk to everybody. Nobody's watching a movie and in a movie theater thinking, now how am I going to tell people about this movie? Or in a restaurant, now what am I saying to tell them how good this steak is? No, I don't want to bother nobody. No, I'm not going to bother them and tell them how great this movie is. No, I went to this clothing store and got, $99 off of a $199 coat. I don't want to bother them. Oh, no, you're going to go and run your mouth because you want to be the one that they credit for helping them with whatever that information is. But there's no monetary attachment, so their yes or their no doesn't affect you. Think about that. The final thing is the R. When I think about the R, I get like a little some superpowers that come over me because the R stands for relentless. I can bite my dresser right now. I'm relentless. Okay, you may not even see this in me when you see me, but I am relentless. I get up in the morning and I imagine myself being a lion in the wilderness. Is it a lion in the wilderness? The jungle. There you go. I'm thinking about, 40 days and 40 nights. But anyway, in the jungle. And in order for my family to eat, I have to get up, go, hunt, chase, catch, and kill to bring back the spoils for my family. It's amazing, man. I think if network marketing was around during the agricultural age, where people had to go out and actually catch their fish and, right now we're so accustomed. Let me just go to the grocery store and get me some fish. But what if you had, I imagine, I do something mentally to myself where I don't even have a job. In order to survive, I have to build this business. That's why people who are out here who are self-employed, they have that relentless because they understand. You ask Kim Satchel, he'll tell you he's relentless because if those colors don't pop orange and blue, you know what? He may have a couple challenges that month. But some of us are just so dependent and relaxed. Oh, it doesn't take all that. Oh, man, I'll be okay. I'm not going to call nobody today. I don't need a promotion to get me going. I think I just found a rhyme. I don't need a promotion to get me in motion. That's my Jesse Jackson. But in all seriousness, money, activity, system, training, everybody, talk to everybody, and be relentless. I don't have a secret, Mr. Satchel, but those are some of the things that I do on a regular, consistent basis, sir.
Wow. Some of the things. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I can promise you this. If you get any of them and just put them to action, I can promise you're going to see some stuff in your actual back office as well. Man, oh man, I could go from question to question. We ran out of some time, but yes, this call was recorded. And before we go, y'all don't understand that. Guess what? Preston Scott is also an author of a wonderful book, and I'm going to give him a chance to share that information with you because I know all of you will want that book because it still talks about network marketing. Go ahead. What is the book's name and how can they get your book, sir?
I appreciate that, sir. It's the ABCs of network marketing, where I simply go down through each alphabet and talk about a subject that is near and dear and necessary to this industry. The ABCs of network marketing, and you can get it online at theabcbook.com. Thank you, sir.
theabcbook.com. Well, ladies and gentlemen, again, we have come to the conclusion, and I'm just going to ask Preston to just go ahead on and give his last remarks and what you would say to the 88 listeners that's listening to you right now. Ladies and gentlemen, I definitely want to give you a hand for the turnout and the support to this particular class, and I'm sure you are glad that you came. You will be able to listen to this again in playback. But what would you say to those that just got started in their business? What do they need to do? And I know we have this PS3 and the simple system that we have with this business. How can someone that's just getting started, someone that's been in and they're ready to get started and move forward, just going to conclude it with that, get started?
Well, sir, it's quite simple, and Paycation has made it very duplicatable, if you will. The first thing you want to do is keep in contact with your coach, whoever your success coach is within this industry or this company. Call that person daily. All right, call that person daily. And then when you get to the point where you got some things going on, maybe you can reduce it to a couple times a week or weekly. But you want to call your success coach on a regular and consistent basis, because every person who's become successful has had some kind of a coach or someone who they follow. So lean on that person. Okay, again, it's not like the employee world. It's like we speak two languages, employee and entrepreneur. But unlike the employee world, people are not going to get mad at you when you're asking a bunch of questions, because questions are buying signals, and we understand where you want to go. So contact them on a regular and consistent basis. And finally, Mr. Satchel just alluded to it, the 4 steps and PS3. We all should be saying that in our sleep. 4 steps, PS3. 4 steps, PS3. 4 steps, PS3. Because if a company has a system in place and we all are singing that same song, singing that same tune, then when new people come in, they can flow like an assembly line. Boom, PS3. Excuse me, 4 steps, PS3. 4 steps, PS3. 4 steps, PS3. Let's make that an official stamp on our organization that each and every one of us are singing that same song, and having folks to call us, and you calling your upline leadership on a regular, consistent basis. And I'm telling you guys, within a blink of an eye, Creators of Wealth will be the #1 organization in Paycation Travel if we stick to what we already know how to do. 4 steps, PS3. 4 steps, PS3. With that being said, Mr. Satchel, I truly appreciate his time. I'm honored, man, to speak, that you would have me speak, sir, to your organization. I do not take it lightly, nor do I take it for granted, man. This has been a pleasure and a blessing to be able to share today. Thank you.
Wow. Thank you so much, Mr. Preston Scott. International executive, I guarantee you, before you look, he will be one of our diamonds by the convention, walking across that stage with a much-deserved jacket. Again, we appreciate you for taking time out of your schedule to make this masterclass training possible with the Creators of Wealth. Make sure you get back to the person, which he just said. I can agree with him not more than 155%, that literally, ladies and gentlemen, watch this. The people who make the most money are the people who stay in contact with their leaders and stay plugged in. What does that mean? Like he just said, call your sponsor. If your sponsor is new, find out who their national is and make sure you plug into that person on a daily basis. If you just started today, guess what? Find who out that national or that international or that diamond, and if you can't find them, call me. But you need to call somebody on a daily basis, as I say, plug into the source on a daily basis as you're going through your training. That's where the training is. So when people say, well, nobody's called me, nobody's going to call you. You call your upline. You're in the business. They are there to support you. So again, stay plugged into the source until you become the source. Am I making sense? Making it clear, and I can promise you, your people are here to help you build. We want to see everyone win, but you have to develop your habits to get disciplined enough that, guess what, I'm calling every day. And it ain't no long conversation. It's just an accountability to get all of the good stuff Are you with me? These are major as you're building your business. Now, don't expect your downline to call you if you're not calling your upline. What did I just say? Don't expect your downline to call you if you're not, your downline to call you up if you're not going up. Okay? And many of you aren't. So it's important that you stay in touch because the people who are plugged in will make the most revenue in this business. So with that being said, we had a great call, great masterclass training. I'm going to have a nice introduction music put for this. I can see this going all around the world, masterclass training. Who will be on that next class speaking from their experience? Do you hear what I'm saying? Across the country. Oprah Winfrey ain't the only one that got a master class. We got some master class trainers right here in the Creators of Wealth as we go around this world helping people to literally believe in it, achieve it, and truly receive it. With that being said, I'm going to say it as I always say, take charge of your life, because as long as you allow somebody else to control your life, it will lead you to a stressful life. And with that being said, take control. God bless and have a great day on purpose.